Have you ever wondered about the true power of prayer? It's a question that invites us to delve deeper into a practice that is as old as humanity itself. Prayer is a universal phenomenon, a common thread that weaves its way through every culture, every religion, every corner of the globe. It's a practice that transcends boundaries, creating a shared human experience. Let's take a moment to consider a time when prayer became a beacon of comfort during a challenging period. I recall an instance when I was grappling with a personal loss. The world seemed gray, and I felt like I was navigating through a storm without a compass. It was during this time that I found solace in the calming ritual of prayer. As I whispered my fears and hopes into the universe, I felt a sense of peace envelop me. It was as if an invisible hand had steadied the ship, guiding me through the storm. The comfort that prayer provides isn't just anecdotal. There's a psychological component at play here. When we pray, we're essentially engaging in a form of meditation. We're focusing our minds, quieting the noise of the outside world, and creating a space for introspection. This act alone can have a profound impact on our mental well-being. It can alleviate stress, foster a sense of peace, and promote a positive outlook on life. Research has shown that prayer can trigger the release of feel-good chemicals in the brain, such as serotonin and dopamine. These chemicals not only boost our mood, but also enhance our sense of optimism. Just think of prayer as your personal portable sanctuary, a place where you can seek refuge from the chaos of the world, an oasis of tranquility amidst the turmoil. So, the power of prayer is not only spiritual, but also psychological. It's a tool that can foster resilience, promote positivity, and provide comfort during times of distress. Whether you're seeking solace, expressing gratitude, or communicating your deepest desires, remember that the act of prayer is a powerful ally on your life's journey. But is there any science behind prayer? Well, let's delve into that. Over the years, various scientific studies have explored the impact of prayer with fascinating results. For instance, a landmark study conducted in the late 90s aimed to analyze the possible correlation between prayer and physical healing. The research involved a group of hospital patients who didn't know they were being prayed for by a group of strangers. Interestingly, the results showed that these patients had a slightly higher recovery rate compared to those who were not prayed for. It's worth noting that the difference wasn't vast, and the study had its critics. However, it did open up a compelling conversation about the potential power of prayer in the realm of physical health. But that's not all. There's more to the science of prayer than physical healing. Several other studies have found that prayer can have a significant impact on mental health. Regular prayer, regardless of religious affiliation, has been linked to lower levels of stress and anxiety, improved mood, and a greater sense of well-being. There's a theory that this could be because prayer often involves meditation-like practices such as focused attention and deep breathing, which are known to have beneficial effects on the brain. Others argue that the act of praying to a higher power can provide a sense of comfort and hope, which can help individuals cope with stress and adversity. Now, it's essential to highlight that while these studies provide some intriguing insights, the science isn't conclusive. The mechanics of how prayer works, if it does, remain a mystery. And that's okay. After all, science is about exploring the unknown, continually asking questions, and seeking answers. In conclusion, while science may not fully understand prayer, it does recognize its potential positive effects. It suggests that prayer might be more than a spiritual practice. It could also be a tool for improving mental health and potentially physical health too. Science may not fully understand prayer, but it does recognize its positive effects. How can we fully harness the power of prayer? Just as there are countless styles in art, there are numerous methods to communicate with the divine through prayer. Some people find solace in silent reflection, their thoughts forming unspoken words, a quiet conversation with the divine. Others find strength in verbalizing their thoughts, their prayers becoming a spoken dialogue with the universe. Let me share a personal story. I remember a time when I struggled with my prayer practice. I was trying to follow a method that didn't resonate with me. I was told to sit still, close my eyes, and pray in silence. But it felt empty, like I was talking to myself. One day, I decided to change things up. I started walking in nature and speaking my prayers out loud. Suddenly, prayer felt real, felt alive. It was as if the universe was listening to me. I found my method, but remember, there's no one-size-fits-all in prayer. It's a deeply personal practice, a unique communion between you and the divine. It's about finding what works best for you, what makes you feel connected, heard, and loved. Now, here's the crux. No matter what method you choose, The most important thing about prayer is the sincerity and intention behind it. Imagine a painting. Even the most beautiful brushstrokes are meaningless if the artist's heart isn't in it. Similarly, the most eloquent prayers are empty if they lack sincerity and genuine intention. Prayer is not about reciting verses perfectly or sitting in the right posture. It's about opening your heart and baring your soul to the divine. It's about honesty, humility, and a deep desire for connection. When you pray, do it with all your heart. Pour your hopes, fears, gratitude, and requests into it. Let your prayer be a genuine reflection of your innermost thoughts and feelings. Remember, the power of prayer lies in the sincerity of your heart. What are some misconceptions people often have about prayer? One common misconception is that prayer is exclusively for religious folks. This simply isn't the case. Prayer, in its essence, is a conversation, a dialogue with a higher power, or the universe, or whatever name you choose to call it. It's an opportunity to express gratitude, seek guidance, and find solace. It isn't restricted to any religion, creed, or belief system. I remember when I was younger, I had this notion that prayer was a strict ritual, bound by rules and regulations. I thought that if I didn't fold my hands just so, or if I didn't recite the exact words in the right order, my prayers would somehow be less effective. But over time, I realized that this was a misconception I had created in my own mind. Prayer is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's a deeply personal journey that can look different for everyone. Some may find comfort in the familiar words of traditional prayers, while others might prefer an informal chat with the universe. Some may pray in a quiet room, others might find connection in a bustling park or a serene beach. The beauty of prayer is its flexibility and adaptability. Another misconception that we often encounter is that prayer should only be reserved for times of crisis or despair. While it's true that prayer can be a source of comfort in challenging times, it's also a tool for expressing gratitude and joy. It's as much about celebrating the good times as it is about seeking solace in the tough ones. And then there's the belief that prayers must be answered in a specific way, or else they're not heard. But sometimes the answer to a prayer isn't a grand event, but a subtle shift in perspective, a newfound strength, or a sense of peace. Let's dispel these misconceptions and embrace prayer as a personal and transformative practice. So, whether you're religious, spiritual, or somewhere in between, remember that prayer is about connection, expression, and transformation. It's about finding your own rhythm, your own words, your own path. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. How can we incorporate prayer into our daily lives? A question many of us ask, and the answer is simpler than we think. It begins with recognizing that prayer is not just a religious act, it's a universal practice of self-reflection, gratitude, and connection. Imagine starting your day with a quiet moment of contemplation, setting a positive tone for the rest of your day. This could be during your morning rituals, right after you wake up, perhaps while sipping your first cup of coffee or tea. Use this time to express gratitude for a new day, ask for guidance, or simply to sit in silence and be present. Likewise, before you drift off to sleep at night, take a moment to reflect on the day's events. What were your successes? What challenges did you face? Use this time to release any worries or stress and to express gratitude for the experiences that helped you grow. Now, let me share a personal story. I started incorporating prayer into my daily routine about a year ago. At first, it felt like an extra task on my to-do list. But over time, I began to notice a shift. I felt calmer, more focused, and more connected to myself and the world around me. It was as if prayer had become a guiding light, illuminating my path each day. But remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Some people prefer structured prayers, while others opt for free-flowing thoughts and feelings. Some find solace in silent contemplation, while others prefer the vibrancy of communal prayer. The key is to experiment and find what resonates with you. And don't worry if you miss a day or two. It's not about perfection, but about creating a habit that enriches your life. So, why not give it a try? Start small, perhaps with a minute or two each day, and gradually build up. You might just find that prayer becomes a cherished part of your daily routine. Through prayer, we can cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us.